What's up, everybody? I'm here to talk about the super awesome Pyroar buffs and changes. As always, I have a little disclaimer. If you are new here, there's tons of crazy new stuff. This might be super jarring if this is your first impression of the hack. The power levels in this hack are super high. Base stat total on average is much higher. 550 base stat total is standard for 3-stage and semi-standard for 2-stage. Not like super out of the ordinary, but it's more of like a if they really need it type deal for the most part, or if it really fits. So for example, a lot of mixed attackers that are 2-stagers might have 550 base stat total purely just because of the way that being a mixed attacker affects the base stat total. Speaking of, if I could have, I would have made the male a physical attacker and the female a special attacker, and I might have honestly even have kept Moxie and then given the female Hubris, but Instinct is far better. Instinct is essentially download. If you are new here, you don't know what that does, and that's incredibly powerful because 109 base attack and special attack with what is literally download is absurdly powerful. There are tons of new Instinct Pokemon. A lot of them are even stronger than Pyroar, or faster than Pyroar, or have different type combinations and all that stuff, but in general, he's still an incredible Pokemon. And I picked these two abilities, like Instinct and Intimidate, because they're perfectly fitting for a Lion Pokemon, in my opinion. Instinct, you know, it's this like kind of primal, not primal, what am I thinking of? Like this wild ability for this, you know, a literal lion, and an Intimidate is obviously very fitting, similar to something like Arcanine, which is another bulky fire type, although of course Arcanine is pure fire, while Pyroar is fire normal. That does give it a weakness to fighting, but you gain a ghost immunity, which is definitely a fair trade, and of course you gain dual stab, of which you have many new powerful options. Their physical move pool is incredible, much better than their special move pool, which is relatively lacking still, just because of what they are. There's not too many special moves that make sense for Pyroar to learn. Normal fire dual stab is already pretty damn good, to be honest, in terms of neutral coverage, but special coverage, you have Scorching Sands. Later on, you get Focus Blast, and then you have a couple of like gimmicky things, such as well, Weather Ball is actually pretty damn great because weather is a lot easier to set up, and there's the buffed rock items and all that stuff. So you could totally run Weather Ball for certain fights. Hidden Power if your type happened to be good. Natural Gift is a 110 base power special move that becomes any type in the game that uses up a super effective berry, like for example, Yachi Berry would give you fire type and or ice type and so on. And then, yeah, you basically have nothing else. Solar Beam is there if you want for the Z move, or just the Power Herb for specific boss fights if you need, like, oh crap, there's 3 Pokemon up on their team, and I could switch my Power in and get the special attack Instinct boost and click Power Herb Solar Beam on this water type and whatever. But you also have Wild Charge there for that. You do have access to infinite EV training items, so you can easily switch around your EV spreads, which is why mixed attackers are much better. Also, Instinct in general means you can run a fully mixed set, so you don't literally have to go, okay, I'm going to teach you this physical, I'm going to go teach Hyper Voice, I'm going to go teach Heat Wave or Flamethrower and all this stuff. And, you know, now next fight I'm going to teach Play Rough and Fire Fang and all these other physical moves and Retaliate and whatever, Take Down, Wall Charge. You know, you can switch around your moves and run strictly physical or special, but because of Instinct, you can actually guarantee what boost you get. So you can switch in at a specific time and get a specific attack or special attack boost, which is really great if you're smart about it. It's really fucking strong. And that's really cool because you can run a mixed set with, for example, Blast Burn, or later on, I actually gave them Blazing Outburst at level 70, which is a semi-exclusive move that I usually get the Pokemon that need the power boost. Pyroar, like I said, its special coverage is still lacking. It's not terrible. I mean, Fire Normal plus Fighting and ground is good enough, honestly. You don't really need too much else, but you know, for certain fights you might not have enough coverage to hit something. Keep in mind, not every Pokemon has to hit everything. You don't have to run coverage moves. You can just use your stabs and then swap the fuck out when something comes in that you can't touch. You do have 5 other Pokemon. You know, not everything has to kill everything. That's probably not feasible for you to do, especially without having access to the movie linear, which isn't until the end of the game. You do have to be careful with when you delete level up moves because you can never get those back till the end of the game. That's part of the challenge of the hack. Otherwise, I feel like it would be not too easy, but for really skilled players, it would be a little bit too easy because you can just specifically counter everything with all of your level up moves. But you still have all those TMs and tutors and ability capsules and stuff to strategize with. Speaking of, yeah, Blazing Outburst is super fun. That's 180 base power, -4 special attack, which is still stronger than Blast Burn, which is 150 base power, -2 special attack. And that's really great on a mixed set or just with Heat Wave, which always crits, so you can bypass through that special attack drop. Keep in mind, every move is massively reworked for the most part. There's 600 plus move buffs and changes. So if you are new here and you're just clicking on this video, or if you have listened to my videos but you have yet to do so, definitely make sure you give that move sheet a look. It's very detailed. It took me several months to make, and it's super important to understand how the Pokemon function now. But yeah, Pyroar isn't just an offensive Unga Bunga instinct button though. He's also a great utility Pokemon. Intimidate is incredible on a Pokemon with pretty damn good bulk with Intimidate, keeping in mind. 86, 72, 66, so Spidef is pretty poor, but otherwise good at solid, above average HP, and with that Intimidate, the defense stat is very, very good. And you also have Slack Off, Battle Cry, which drops the attack stats by 2, Parting Shot, Roar, Yawn. You know, you've got all types of really good utility that you can take advantage of as Pyroar, Will-O-Wisp, etc. You know, you can always just tack those on for specific boss fights, which is really nice. It's really good to have Pokemon be able to do different things in this hack, because I did balance it with hardcore Nuzlocke in mind, so even with team locked Nuzlocke in mind, so you can use your Pokemon and make the most out of them to counter the boss fights and come out on top if you're smart about it. But yeah, in general, Boom Burst I gave because, like I said earlier, special moves are much more... Special coverage is lacking, so I wanted to give him really strong special moves, so that way special sets are still worth using over those physical sets, which have incredible coverage, and also very strong moves. I mean, you got Flare Blitz, Blazing Outburst, Double Edge Strength, which is normal type close combat, Hyper Beam, Kick Impact. You got all types of crazy stuff on both sides. But yeah, Boom Burst, Blazing Outburst, those are great. Special moves, and then, you know, also just your regular moves. Like, you can easily just toggle between your two sets. If you see that the boss fight coming up ahead, the Pokemon that you need your Pyroar to kill has a lower Spidef stat. Okay, boom, slap on special set. You know, that's if you're being smart about it and you're using all of the trainer documents and all this other stuff to be smart with, you know, the moves that you're using and the ability that you're choosing. But in general, you can easily cycle between abilities. Litleo is pretty damn great. 400 base total is not uncommon for two-stage pre-evolutions, especially on this case where Litleo is a mixed attacker. I did drop the HP just because HP is based a little bit more on size now, and Litleo's a tiny little cub. And I just thought it was more consistent. And also, I just like how it ends in 6, and I didn't want to buff it to 66, so I just kept it at 86. Sorry, 56. I dropped it to 56. But yeah, much faster. Solid speed tier for that point in the game. It will level over 33, which is just in time for Olivia, which is pretty great. You use Intimidate or Instinct for her, depending on your playstyle and just the strategy that you come up with for her. But I would probably run Intimidate. Most likely is probably going to be your better bet. Not guaranteed though. You know, maybe you already have another Intimidate user and you can pivot in on something and get that Instinct Scorching Sands or something to kill one of her Pokemon. You know, you never know. Yeah, great Pokemon, great abilities, very fitting, very fun. There are other Instinct and Intimidate Pokemon, but obviously these guys are unique in that fire normal dual typing. They might be the only ones now. Let me actually triple check. I had a couple others planned, but ended up going back on it. Hold on. Where is fire normal? Rapidash. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Rapidash, yeah. So it's just Rapidash and Pyroar. Both of which are mixed attackers. Rapidash much faster, has different abilities, Reckless, Speed Boost, different tools and stuff. But yeah, great Pokemon, both of them. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, let me know down below in the description. There's a couple other things I could touch on, but honestly, I just do not have the time in these videos to cover every little single move buff and change. That's what the Google Sheet is for in the description. So yeah, give that a look if you haven't already. And I appreciate you listening this far into the video. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't done that already as well. Peace, everybody. Be back for more Kalos Pokemon coming up.